And we're live. Welcome to Stories That Work. I'm Deacon Adam Roberts.
I'm Father Matthew Howell.
And we have another story. This one's quite different. I like variety.
Yeah, well, I like variety too. And I like the different blends of stories that we get. But before we get to our story, we should open with a prayer.
We should open for there because this story is pretty grounded.
It is very grounded. All right. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O Lord Jesus Christ, our God, you came among your disciples and gave them peace. So also come among us and give us peace, and open the eyes of our understanding to the light of your gospel knowledge, so that we may praise and glorify your all honorable and majestic name, of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto ages of ages.
Amen. Okay, I'm going to sip my coffee out of my Florida Keys mug while you give us an update.
All right. I'm going to have a sip out of my Alaska mug. Talk
about polar opposites in America.
That's right. Hey, so Project Mexico, we are gearing up for spring break, March 16th through 21st. And we've got a really exciting project to build a house for a family that already has a concrete pad poured. So go to projectmexico.org to sign up. And also last week I gave a more in-depth update on what we're working on, but also February is still Faithful Friends Month. So in honor of Valentine's Day, where we express our friendship and devotion to each other, like we really do need people to support Project Mexico every month. $10 a month is better than $125 a year because we can count on that monthly donation. So we will post a link in the public chat, projectmexico.org/faithfulfriends. And if people can make a recurring donation of even $5 a month, it'll really make a difference for the orphanage. But I encourage people to go back to last week's show where we gave several updates. And there's a lot more in there about Project Mexico. But for right now, the focus is Faithful Friends and our upcoming spring break trip. There are still spots open. And so if somebody's available to volunteer in a few weeks, we'd love to have you south of the border.
You know, I went back and checked. I don't know how this happened. My Faithful Friends monthly contribution or donation had canceled. It had stopped. So I restarted it after our show. I went back and checked mine and I had to restart it.
Hey, good job. Double the price, right? Double the donation, right? Because you felt bad.
I definitely felt bad, but I had to stay within my budget.
Okay.
So, but yes, I did do that. So yeah, we had a lot of updates there. And actually, this is on yours, but I was able to confirm yesterday travel plans to come see you during your build week in June.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I took my family to Project Mexico last summer, and this summer I'm taking my son. He's going to have his 13th birthday at Project Mexico during a home building week. So we've got a group from Alaska and Washington, a group of us that's coming together, and we're very excited, June 16th through 22nd. There are also still plenty of spots available for other weeks during the year, but that week is going to be pretty full. I think right now we have 7 or 8 priests committed to going for that home building week in June that I'll be there. Okay. So it'll be a great time.
Yeah, I'm only coming for like a day or two, but I'm going to come down and say hi because I've got like 5 things to do in that trip to Southern California. So, but I definitely am going to come see you. Okay, my turn for an update. I think I'm on full swing for the person to person. This is what I was told. The title's been all over the place. Person to person evangelism conference. And I think everyone that comes is going to be surprised at what we're trying to share, because I think it's very easy to forget who we are, why we exist, what the church is trying to do, how do we pursue salvation, all this kind of stuff. And so it's the topic. I keep getting topic descriptions, and I think it's going to be awesome. So I'm so excited about that. And I hope you can come out and join us May 7th through 9th, which we are aware this is Mother's Day weekend, which is why the conference ends Saturday at noon. So you can go home, be with your wife or your mother or whoever you need to be with. So for Mother's Day, which is on Sunday. So this is not a conflict. So we hope to see you there. And there's a great lineup of speakers. And I'm only presenting one session. I was like, I'm willing to do one. Yeah.
Good.
Just one. And if you haven't seen it yet, the topic, the title of my talk is The Silver Bullet of Evangelism. So, but you got to come if you want to hear what
that's quite a hook, because I thought there was no silver bullet, but I know nothing about your talk, so I don't know if I'm spoiling it or not.
It's the silver bullet. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited about how everything's coming together. Bishop Anthony of Toledo, if you've never heard him speak, he'll be our keynote speaking a couple times. So that's my update.
He's fantastic. Bishop Anthony's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really good conference. And will that be recorded and posted for those who cannot travel to Chicago?
I think so. You know, I think we're going to have to sell. It's going to be so good. I think we're going to sell the recordings. I think we should do that. Like Patristic Nectar, he sells his lectures. They're not expensive, but he sells them. You know what I mean?
That's reasonable.
And depending on how good they are, we'll adjust the price. Some of them will be $1. Mine will be $1.
Or
and then Bishop
free.
Anthony, we'll pay you to listen to it.
Bishop Anthony's will be $10.
Right. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that. Right?
Maybe people should bring their mother to Chicago for the conference. What does a good mother want other than for their children to be evangelists?
And be in the church.
And to be in the church.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think are we ready for our guest?
No, we got to do one more thing. It's time for a Bible trivia question.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I've got a doozy for you.
Okay.
And it involves preaching. Who tried to get out of preaching by fleeing in a boat?
Old Testament?
Sure, Old Testament. I'll give you a hint. Old Testament.
You're allowed to tell me which book it's from, right?
No, I can't tell you. You should know this. All
right, Jonah.
It's Jonah.
You should have told me which book it was from. It doesn't always work out.
No, it doesn't. So,
okay.
Is our guest ready for Bible trivia? Did you prep him?
No, I didn't warn him.
Let's bring him out
right now. Father Damian. How are you doing?
Well, the Bible's not trivial, so I won't be able to answer anything.
Touche. Yeah. Touche.
So this is, we just like to have a little bit of fun with Bible trivia. And so do you want to save his for a little bit? Let him get warmed up?
Yeah, we should introduce him a little bit.
Okay. So, Father Damian, I'll let you talk about yourself, but we've had you on today because you have a really fascinating, I don't know, project, for lack of a better word, that's ongoing in Bend, Oregon. And so do you mind introducing yourself and then the project?
Yeah, I'm Father Damian Colt with the Diocese of the West in the OCA. And this project was really the inspiration of Father Anthony Carbo, who did the first of these in Colorado Springs some 15 years ago. And they had to close down. Agia Sophia, Colorado Springs was really a successful tool for evangelization. I know of a couple of priests who came through the coffee house on their way to becoming Orthodox and ending up in the priesthood. So quite an effective tool. They lost their lease, had to shut down. And at one of our diocesan council meetings, he looked at me and said, "You know how to do this. Why don't you take all the stuff and go start one in Bend?" And we had just decided to come to Bend. Central Oregon has no Orthodox presence. The closest Orthodox church is 3 hours away, and yet there's 220,000 people within a 45-minute radius of Bend. So the bishop asked us if we'd come and drop anchor here. We'd been living in an Airstream and traveling around the West full time for almost 3 years, doing short projects for the diocese. And we dropped anchor, rented a place here, and got started with a handful of people building a mission. And there was an opportunity that presented itself. A lady who had had her children baptized in that little mission 12 years ago was running a used bookstore, and it had been here since the 80s, but she just wanted to go back to being mom and couldn't sell the business. Called me up out of the blue after I'd inquired over the previous year and said, hey, what do you think of taking over the best of my books when you do your coffee house bookstore? That was mind-blowing because I thought of the original model, which was coffee house, a bunch of Orthodox books, some classics, maybe 300 or 400 or 500 books. Instead, we had to cull it down from 30,000 books to about 5,000 is what we have.
Wow.
So we just opened in December. I've got some good attention from the community. Old bookstore clients come in. Some grumble because they don't see wall-to-wall books anymore. But then I assure them that not only do we keep the best of the books, but they can hang out and have some coffee while they look at what they want to buy. So that got launched.
That's a big change from 30,000 books to 5,000, but
yeah, huge.
Yeah. So how big was that previous space?
It's about 2,400 square feet. We've preserved, I can give you a little tour in a minute if you'd like to get a quick glance. We've preserved the front half to be coffee house bookstore, kind of wall-to-wall books are end-to-end on one side of the coffee house. And then the second half is almost finished being converted to our chapel. Yet we're going to use it for meeting space, for book clubs, a bereavement group that's run by the hospital here, the school district. They are all wanting to have a space where they can have up to 30 or 40 people have a meeting and they'll get to know. And they're going to have the icon staring at them the whole time. So if they can handle that, we can handle having a meeting here.
Do you want to show us your apron?
Oh, yeah, let me show you. It's our signature. It's got the logo. Above Agia Sophia is a little red thing. That's a book, and that's steam coming off the book. And the classic byline for the Agia Sophia is fresh coffee, ancient wisdom.
Ah, we don't want ancient coffee.
No. And fresh wisdom, that's what's the
You can get that anywhere.
Yeah, we do.
I didn't realize you were wearing an apron. I thought you had an Agia Sophia cassock on.
Well, I thought that would be a little much, but it all blends together. So,
Father Matthew, do you have a question?
I have one question for Father Damian. What did God make out of Adam's rib?
He opened the first Orthodox barbecue shop.
That's correct.
Yeah,
because
that was so easy. Even I could do that. I think he made Whoa Man.
Yes, that's right. That's right. See, Father Damian, Deacon Adam and I did one of these episodes in December about a children's Bible trivia game. And ever since we did that, we just incorporate this into the episodes at random times. So we had a guest 2 weeks ago who was really caught off guard by the timing of the questions. But you hit that one out of the park. We put it on a tee and you hit the barbecue question.
Well, I had the real answer to your first question. You know that.
The real answer?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Back when we were off here.
Yeah. Getting in a boat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's why I was messing with Father Matthew, because we see this in both the Old and New Testament.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Father Damian, would you mind giving us a tour of the shop?
Not at all. I'm going to flip the camera, pick up the surface. Okay, so the shop has been here, like I say, since the 80s, but there was nothing but books, wall to wall, and it was kind of funky and old. And this is the look out to the street, the parking lot in front. And if I turn around, when someone comes in, they see 7.5-foot tall bookshelves all down one side with seating in between these short ones that I created.
Okay.
And on the other side is the coffee bar. We also feature a little mini gallery for Christopher Burkett's photography. And there's my helper today, Theophan, reading
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Little condiment tray. I have the trick stools here.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people pull up to the stool and then they get me on the other side of this bar, and we get to visit. So that's the kitchen area. We do have someone here quietly reading, and now I'm interrupting his space, so I hope you don't mind the intrusion. On the other side, we're selling our signature mugs, by the way.
Let's see one of them. Yeah.
That's the medium size. Here's the cute little ones.
Yeah.
And we sell these mugs. People just love them. They're great. And the coffees, we get our coffee from the monastery in Goldendale, Father Michael's Roastery, local teas, vinegars. And as we move back, we start coming into products produced at St. Anthony's Monastery, more products from Goldendale. We have this little thing we call the tea room. It's to enjoy cozy conversation with friends, benches, a little table. And then here we have a lot of the little small size icons on all the walls for sale.
Nice.
And then we come through this double door set. And so when you're in the coffee house and you look into this room, you see the beginnings of our iconostasis.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Father. I'm going to minimize Father Matthew and myself so we can see your full screen. I want to let you guys. Let's.
Yeah, you're not. I'm sorry. I was.
No, you're.
My
Here we go.
view. Okay, there you go. So once again, if we come through these doors, I have to stop for a moment. We also have advertised that we have the most beautiful bathroom door in all of Oregon. We're best at something. We got a lot of things that restore Habitat for Humanity, and that was there. So into this room is our entrance into the chapel area. This is about 1,200 square feet. And we have Orthodox books along this whole wall. They're just barely getting out of boxes and getting stacked and put on the shelves because we've been doing construction. We have our construction mess going on. There's some Western Christian things. I've weeded out a lot of the New Age things that were in the store. If you put New Age together, you get Newage. And you know what that rhymes with. And then over here is the history section. We had a presentation by Dr. Hinshaw, who just gave as a guest speaker at the Western Diocese, I think, for the Antiochian Church, and he spoke in Lebanon. He talks about suffering and end-of-life issues. So we do, this area is meant to be set up for meetings, like I said, book clubs, special guests. I'm bringing in other Orthodox authors, and we'll continue to introduce the community to Orthodoxy in a little bit of what I'm going to call a gentle way. And then, of course, we just barely built out this area for altar and sacristy, and we're in the middle of building out the iconostasis. So anyway, that's the quick tour. Maybe you want to come back and tell me if I've lost you, or oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're still here.
Okay.
We enjoyed it.
Oh,
Father Matthew came up with an interesting job title for you.
What is it?
Well, I heard this I heard this about a priest in Colorado Springs, the barista parista.
No, it's the Priesta Barista.
Yeah.
It's
That was a great tour.
That's me. I'm a Priesta Barista.
And so that's Chess over there, right? That was Chess over there that we saw?
Oh, yeah. We even have a chess table here.
Okay.
So I encourage people to hang out and enjoy the kind of a quiet environment. I am music off today. We go back and forth with a little bit of gentle chant and some simple classic guitar. The point is, and this is maybe the most important thing about talking about it, is you have to know who your audience is. If you want to be there for all Orthodox people, it's going to be a different environment than if you want the public to come and feel comfortable. As I tell people all the time, we had a sweet little chapel in a strip mall that you couldn't find even if you wanted to. And you add to that nobody goes to an Orthodox church on purpose. I had to do something different.
Right.
Yeah.
So we came we're just 4 blocks out of downtown on one of the main east-west corridors. And I'm here serving the community. If they want coffee, they get coffee. If they want books, I'm happy to give them books. And I tell them all I don't proselytize, but if you ask me a question, you better get ready for an answer.
I'm curious about, or do you want to go first, Father Matthew?
Are you serving the services on the weekends in that chapel in the back room?
Yeah, we actually started that when there was nothing built. When I set up a temporary table, 2 stands for icons, it did a couple of things. One, we didn't have to pay rent 2 places, which was not good. But also it meant that the people who drive 45 minutes would get to see the progress happening. Otherwise, they never saw it.
Okay.
Sundays. And for some of the local people, they'd see all the work that needed to be done. Their guilt glands would swell up, and then they'd actually come and help.
I was curious what your cycle of prayers and services are on a day-to-day basis.
Right now, all I'm doing is when I come in, this is changing in Lent. We're going to do a short prayer service in the morning before I open, which means me. And then because there's really nobody else here, well, now Theophan over in the corner who's popping, he'll come if I tell him. Then we do evening vespers on Wednesday nights. I've been teaching classes here at night. I'm starting next week a new series called Coffee Talk with Father Damian in the middle of the day. And I'll have 2 or 3 things going on for classes about spirituality, a Bible class, but I don't let people discuss it because an old pastor here in town said he quit doing Bible classes because they're too divisive. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, everybody goes around and gives their opinion, and by the time you're done, everybody doesn't like you because you have a different opinion than them. So he found Bible classes too divisive. So I call them Bible study, but I do themes. And then it's heavily Bible-based, but it's an actual talk that I'll give. So we'll do that, invite the public. I've got people who come in, ask, who are you, what's going on? I would say I give a tour and a talk to virtually every other person that walks in the door right now. I was stunned that it was that much interest from people who normally would never go look for orthodoxy.
Do you think you're going to be getting a lot? Is this mostly foot traffic, like walkers? I don't know how much about the neighborhood or the area. Or are most people going to be driving in?
Most people drive, a few walkers, and people see it. I've had a couple of good news articles that were written in the Bin Bulletin and in the Source, full page kind of articles, and then doing announcements. And people are on Facebook and Instagram hearing about us. So they're coming in from all different ways.
I'm kind of finished with my questions. Father Matthew, do you have anything else you're curious about?
I just think it's a fantastic idea. Here in Alaska, in Anchorage, there was an OCA mission started I don't know, maybe 15 years ago in downtown Anchorage in the back of a museum. It was, so they had a little coffee bar and it was set up as an Orthodox museum. And then they started this mission, and the priest who was working that made it grow. And after several years was able to buy land and build a full temple and a fellowship hall and everything. It was pretty impressive work, the way that it grew from the mission. But they would have basically foot traffic, and as you said, people who would find orthodoxy by accident, so to speak.
That's right. Lots of it. And we've already got 4 people in catechesis who will be baptized at Pascha, and a dozen inquirers. And a person walked in last week and said, "Are you doing a Bible study? I go to a Catholic church, but I'd really like a Bible study." I had a guy who's Baha'i who really wanted to talk. So I did, and he kept trying to talk about how all faiths. And I said, sure, they're all great preparation for the one incarnation of God called Jesus Christ. They're great preparation. And so he took patristic theology by Romanides home to read.
Oh, wow. Some nice light reading.
I had another person, his first day in, he's now going to be baptized, but he came in September when we were remodeling, and he said, I'm, new. What should I read? And I showed him all the good introductory books. And then he browsed for about an hour, and he comes up to the cash register with Patristic Theology by Romanides. And I kind of went, ooh, yeah, that's not normally the starting point. And 3 days later, he comes back, and I said, well, how are you doing? And he said, well, I read the whole book. And I go, oh, so what do you think? And he goes, I think I'm a heretic. How do I become Orthodox?
Wow.
Wow.
And has attended everything since then.
That's tremendous humility.
I don't know how often that happens, but for me, it's a new one.
Yeah, not very often.
No.
Not very often. So, Father, one more question. Do you think this model of having a coffee shop, bookstore mission together, do you think it can be replicated in other places, or do you think you caught lightning in a bottle?
No, I think it's very easily replicable. If I could franchise it and I was 40, you bet I'd be doing that. But it's not, it's like any franchise. You have to capitalize it properly. You have to run it like a real business. Mm-hmm. And you have to have people who want to work from 8 to faint.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old saying from my dad. I'll do it again. 8 to faint.
That's a good saying.
I'm actually here myself right now, 6 days a week from 6:30 to 6:30.
Wow.
But you have to invest in it that way if you're going to make it work.
Right.
Well, 80% of small businesses that start up in the food and hospitality industry they close within 5 years. It's a really hard industry to get into unless you put in the sweat equity.
Every business, every software company is the same way. Construction companies are the same way. It's all about, are you prepared? Did you count the costs? Do you have in place what you need? And do you have the people that have the calling and are driven to do the work it takes? It's true in any business. So, I have a lot of business background. I've done a lot of consulting in business as well as running businesses. To me, this is simple and fun. It's really great. I just get people who want to talk to me. And, you walk down the sidewalk in a cassock and you get the...
Yeah.
And I've learned to go walk over to someone like that and say, hi, I'm your priest. And they look at me and I say, yeah, I'm the only priest. So everybody here's in my parish. Not enough of you come to church, but I'm still your priest. You have to have that attitude and understand that huge majority will never come. but you gotta serve and love them anyway, if there's any chance of seeds, ever maturing in their lives.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty much finished. You want to, Father Damon? Do you have anything else that we may have missed, or that you think we should cover?
I think the big thing is if you're gonna try to do something like this, learn from people who've done it successfully before. Father Anthony Carbo is a wealth of information. My experience here is new, but I've been working at it, and I have good business and evangelizing experience. Don't try to do it on your own, and more important is understand what your objective is. I came here to plant a church, and they asked me when I got here, because they've had other attempts, well, how long are you going to stay? And I said, until you dig a hole. And they looked at me, and I said, either to build a church or put me in it. And you have to have real commitment. You interview people all the time, and their ministries are effective because they're inspired, they love what they do, and they're willing to make that their life. And so in a big parish, you can find people like that, especially if there's some zeal to go plant somewhere else. Then I think it's going to be pretty simple if you follow some of the things that it takes to be successful at it.
Sure.
Well, that's I love the missionary aspect of this story. It's quite inspiring, especially with for today in the Antiochian Archdiocese, we're commemorating Saint Raphael of Brooklyn.
I know, so are we.
Yeah, what a missionary day.
And I noticed last night late in my Divine Liturgy book from St. Tikhon's that it says fish.
Does it really?
Yeah, that's your excuse. You saw it in the book.
Ah, well, that's good news. Okay, so is that a wrap, Father Matthew?
I think so. Father Damian, thank you so much for coming on and giving us the tour and inspiring us with your story. We pray that God will continue to bless your work and bring you the people.
And I hope to help anyone who wants to know anything I can help with. So,
well, I'm going to talk to you about that next week. I actually have something I'm working on for the fall.
Okay.
And I'm hoping you might be able to be a part of that.
Great.
And we also put the website up, agiasophiabend.com. So that's in our chat link, so people can find you through the website, right?
Yeah, that's not as up to date as Facebook or Instagram, but
okay.
I don't have time for all that.
So even better would be if people actually made a pilgrimage to your coffee shop and your church to see the bathroom door and talk to you in person, right?
That's right. Mount Bachelor, 20 minutes away, 2 months yet of good spring skiing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Father Damian.
God bless you and your ministry too.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.